I went into 2019 in a lift by myself. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and today we're going to be talking about what it's like to celebrate New Year on board a cruise ship. But I hope you had an amazing Christmas. I did. It was so lovely to spend it at home with my family. As I said, normally on board for Christmas, so it was really nice to be at home. I have spent numerous New Year's Eves on board a cruise ship, so I thought I would just fill you in on what it's like, because if you're starting your cruise ship career next year, or maybe you're just going back on board like I am, you might be spending New Year on board a cruise ship next year. So that's what we're going to go through today. But before we start, please press the subscribe button and also hit that like button because it lets YouTube know that it's a good video and then it will promote it more. But as for now, let's get into it. Can you believe that this year is finally coming to an end? I mean, I thought it would never come. What a year it has been. For me personally, it's actually been a great year. It was the best of times and the worst of times. How true. Like, it's been really difficult, as it has been for a lot of people, but starting this YouTube channel has been really cool, and there's just a lot of things that have gone on in my life that are great. There's so much that has changed that's for the better. It's been good, and I really hope you feel the same, you know. Yes, it's been a tough year, but I really hope that you've got something out of it and you feel like you've achieved something with the time that we had in lockdown. And going into next year, like, I'm excited to go back on Virgin Voyages and finally launch the ship. I'm excited to continue this YouTube channel. I am a little bit nervous because obviously you need the internet to be able to upload videos, and as I have said in previous videos, internet on board cruise ships isn't the best, but we'll just have to kind of cross that bridge when we come to it and see how we go. And just like every new year, I'm sure we're just all excited for an opportunity to wipe the slate clean and like, right, we're starting again on a new foot. And for a lot of you, that means hopefully starting your cruise ship career, which is so exciting. I'm so excited for you. And if that is the case, then definitely watch the video I did about whether you should start your cruise ship career straight after the COVID pandemic. I'll link it just up there. But yeah, so New Year on a cruise ship, what is it like? It is great. As I said in the Christmas video that I did, there are 3 parties on board cruise ships that are just absolutely amazing, and that is the Christmas party, the New Year party, and Indian Independence Day. It's great. The thing with Christmas and the thing with Indian Independence Day is not everyone celebrates it, but everyone celebrates New Year. Even if you celebrate like Chinese New Year, you still celebrate normal New Year. Not normal New Year, but you know what I mean. New Year on December the 31st. It's brilliant because everyone comes together. Everyone's just buzzing for the new year in general. The clean slate. New Year's Eve. I don't know if you'll be working or not. It literally just depends where your cruise ship is. I have been on a cruise ship that was at sea for New Year, and I've been on a cruise ship where we were in port for New Year, which is amazing. So firstly, we'll go through a New Year's at sea. So obviously it's a sea day, so you're working all day. And depending on what department you work in, depends on what time you'll finish, but it'll probably be, I don't know, at 8 o'clock in the evening, maybe a bit earlier. So then what happens is everyone has a very quick dinner and then goes and gets into their ball gowns. Like, that's when you put your nice dress on. So all those dresses that you took for formal night that you haven't managed to wear, you'll be wearing on New Year's Eve. And everyone gets dressed up to the nines. The men are in their tuxes. The women are looking gorgeous. The passengers and the crew members kind of all mingle together. Everyone gathers around the atrium. And if you haven't been on a cruise ship before, that's like the central point of the cruise ship. Everyone gathers in the atrium to do the countdown to New Year. There's balloons, there's probably performers, whether it depends on the ship. Some ships have like aerialists, so maybe an aerialist is doing a performance, or the cast will do a performance. There's gonna be champagne going round, but you're a crew member and there's a drinking limit, remember? The captain's gonna make a speech. The captain will actually probably count down to New Year, or maybe the cruise director will, and it's just, oh, it's just bloody brilliant. New Year comes, you celebrate, scream, cheer, it's all amazing. And then most of the crew members kind of like dwindle off towards the crew bar, because that's when the crew party starts. The real party starts. Depending on what you've chosen to wear, a lot of people get changed, because although it's lovely to put your ball gown on to be in passenger areas and be like, yes, I'll have some champagne and oh, it's great. Crew bar is not where you want to have your ball gown. It's gonna be sweaty. There's going to be just so many people. If you're wearing heels, you will definitely want to take them off. If you have a dress that trails on the floor, well, that will get ruined. So most people get changed. It's just a massive dance session. All the chairs are cleared, which like in the day are in crew bar so people can go in there and have a coffee. The chairs are moved. It's a massive dance floor and you just dance all night long. Everyone is kind of there by about 1 o'clock. And I think when we were at sea on my second ship, we were dancing till about 5. And normally the crew bar shuts at like 2:30, 3. But yeah, 5 o'clock we were dancing. And then we either continued that in a cabin party, or if you were on a ship that has a crew deck, then a lot of people are going to crew deck and kind of continue it there. So you won't sleep and you might have to start work at 7 in the morning. But it's all good fun. You all turn up to work, not in the best state you've ever been, and not raring for the new year. Pretty bashed, actually. Some of these cruise ships can have thousands of crew members on, so you're not going to know everyone, but it's like living in a small town. You like know everyone's face. So you're just at this massive party with your friends. The best thing I can describe it is, you know, when you're a teenager and you go to house parties and they're literally the best parties of your life. It's like that. It's like a house party. It just has that same vibe. I mean, unlike teenagers, people know their drinking limits and they're not throwing up everywhere, but you get the gist. Like, you're in this room with all your friends. Everyone is just living their best life. To be honest, when I found out, I was like, oh, we're gonna be at sea for New Year. Like, oh, that's rubbish. But it was brilliant because everyone was on board, so everyone celebrated together and it just made for this incredible night. And then on my last ship, we celebrated New Year in Hamburg in Germany. And it was amazing, but it was a very, very different experience. We worked all day, finished work at 8 o'clock, but instead of everyone having dinner, getting their glad rags on and just going upstairs to the atrium, everyone, you know, gets changed and goes out into Hamburg or whatever port you're in. And that's really exciting. It's amazing to spend New Year's in a different country. It's so cool. However, you are going to break off into like different groups of people. So I went out with 6 people and obviously the city's alive with people. Everyone's really excited for New Year. You know what? It was terrifying because like we were walking through the streets going from like pub to pub and they're just like letting fireworks off. There's just explosions going off everywhere on the ground and I'm like, we could die. Like, I might get my hand blown off by one of these fireworks. So it was actually quite scary in some parts. I've never quite seen anything like it. Obviously in England or everywhere in the world you have firework displays, especially on New Year. But Hamburg, I mean, we got off the ship at like 8:30 in the evening. All night the sky was lit up with fireworks. All evening. I've never ever experienced anything like it. Normally it's just like when the clock strikes 12, then all the fireworks go off. But in Hamburg, it was all evening. And, you know, until the morning, just fireworks, 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 fireworks. It was insane. But anyway, I've gone off topic. So you're going from like pub to pub, having a drink, having a good time, feeling good. But as we all know, when you go out with a group of people, there might be some people that want to do something different for New Year. So some of us wanted to go back on the ship for 12 o'clock so that we're celebrating it on board. And then there's obviously people who are like, no, let's stay out. You separate. You don't really want to go into the New Year like on your Todd. So then you're kind of calling people and like, oh, where are you? Are you in Hamburg? Are you on board? What's going on? So I think that night I actually spent a lot of time on the phone, which was a bit rubbish. Just kind of be like, where are you? What are you doing? Got on board the cruise ship at like 11:30 and I don't know how it happened, but I was basically in the lift when it went to midnight on my own. I was going up to the top deck and the lift was taking forever. So I went into 2019 in a lift by myself, but it was fine. You know, I eventually got to the top and like a few of my friends were there and then, like I said, the sky was just completely lit up with fireworks. It was insane. It wasn't as good as when we were all together on board the cruise ship. So I enjoyed spending New Year's at sea and I also enjoyed it in Hamburg, but it was best when we were at sea because everyone was together. I didn't have to call anyone to see where they were because there's only one bar, so they were all in that bar. Everyone was in the same room when we went into the new year. There was just no distractions and there was no decisions to be made. It wasn't like, oh, so what bar do you want to go to? Where should we go? What should we do? It was like, well, we'll just go to crew bar because that's the only bar there is. So if you are on a ship at the end of this year, going into New Year, and you find out that your ship is at sea, don't be like disheartened like I was. It's an amazing thing. It really is a good thing. And if you are going to be in port, wherever that is, maybe that's the Caribbean, maybe Germany, maybe Mexico, wherever you are, try and like plan your night beforehand. And that might be really difficult if you haven't been to that port before. Like, we hadn't been to Hamburg in Germany, so we were like, well, we don't know how far away the town is from the cruise port. We don't know how like, we don't know anything. So I think that was why the night was a little bit chaotic. So before you go out, I would have some sense of where you're going to go and what you're going to do. Just so, one, if you lose anybody, they're like, okay, well, we said we'd go here, so I can find them here. So you're not spending the night looking for people or making decisions or compromising. And sometimes it does take someone to just say, this is what I'm doing for New Year. I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here. And then everyone will kind of jump on the bandwagon. No one wants to be the one in charge, do they? Everyone's like, I don't mind where we go. I don't mind what we do. And then you don't end up doing anything. So sometimes you just have to be the bossy one and just say, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, and this is where we're going to be for New Year. And I think that is the main thing. Make a decision on where you are going to celebrate New Year, whether that is in a bar, whether that is, I'm going to be in the atrium on board the cruise ship, I'm going to be on crew deck, I'm going to be in crew bar on the cruise ship. Know where you're going to be for New Year, because you don't want to be stuck in a lift on your own when the clock strikes 12. That would be like my only advice for celebrating New Year, because then it doesn't matter what everyone does. If Frank wants to go to a bar and you want to stay on board and Natasha wants to go to a club, it doesn't matter, but you can all come together for when the clock strikes 12 and you go into New Year, which is the main part. Like, no matter what you do, where the ship is, where you are, you will just have the best time ever. It's so much fun. But once again, you are working. There is a drinking limit. Be careful. You probably will be working New Year's Day, so make sure you drink a pint of water before you go to bed. Yeah, New Year's Day is usually not as fun as New Year's Eve. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments like what you're doing for New Year, what your plans are. I know that New Year's going to be very different this year, but I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed and who are liking these videos and commenting and sending me messages on Instagram about like what they want to see. It's just really nice that this has been well received. So it really has been something that has made 2020, or my 2020, a great year. Starting this and getting in touch with you all, it's been really good. So thank you so much. And I just hope you have the best New Year's Eve you possibly can, and you're excited for 2021. I mean, that's a given. We're all excited for 2021. But Happy New Year, and I will see you in the next video next year.